Hey everybody! I'm here today to talk to you about a Shark UltraLight vacuum that is not turning on. I'll be going over some easy fixes in this very simple tutorial, so let's get right into this instructional video tutorial. I'll be going over 5 simple things that you can try out, and hopefully one of these 5 things works for you and gets your vacuum to turn on once again. So without further ado, starting off with number 1. Number 1 is make sure the power source is working. So you might be plugging into a wall outlet that you're assuming is working, and in reality there's a chance that that wall outlet is not working. So before you assume that it's your vacuum, go ahead and make sure that the wall outlet or the power source that you're using is working. So go ahead and make sure that it's working by plugging in a phone charger or a lamp or anything like that. Just make sure that the power source is working. Once you know that the power source is indeed working, for instance that the wall outlet is indeed working, then you know that the problem lies within the vacuum itself or a component of the vacuum itself. But before you verify the power source, it might just be the power source. So take a look at whether or not the power source is working. That's number 1. Moving on to number 2. Number 2 is inspect the power cord. So you want to take a look at the power cord, okay? Take a look. If you notice anything looking weird or wrong with the power cord, then obviously the problem might lie within the power cord, and you're probably going to have to replace the unit. Okay, if there's a problem with the power cord, you don't want to go trying to repair the power cord. You're better off replacing the unit, plain and simple. So take a look at the power cord and see if the problem lies within the power cord. If something looks off in any way, shape, or form, if something feels off, if something just seems off in any way, shape, or form with the power cord, then chances are it might be the power cord. Okay, you're using a vacuum. Yeah, you might have vacuumed over the power cord. You might have got the power cord caught on something many times. So it's very possible, I would say it's even probable, that the power cord would experience some problems eventually. So if you've been using your vacuum for a long time, take a look at the power cord, and if you notice something is off with the power cord, then definitely you should be replacing the unit, plain and simple. Also, when it's plugged in and you've pressed the power button, and you know the power button is like in the on position, you can go ahead and wiggle the power cord around and see if that allows the unit to turn on. And if the unit turns on when you're wiggling the power cord, then that means that there's probably a disconnection or a loose connection within the power cord. Definitely replace the unit. That is absolutely a major reason to go ahead and replace the unit, because you don't want to mess around with a power cord that has like a disconnect in it. It's something that you should consider replacing the unit for, plain and simple. But use your own judgment, but at least hopefully that'll help you narrow down the problem and try to understand a little bit better or further what the actual problem is that's causing your vacuum to not turn on. Moving on to number 3. Number 3 is clean the filters. So there are 2 sets of filters on here, okay? You got one set of filters, which is within the dust canister over here. As you can see, those are the filters over there. That's one set, okay? Then you have another filter that's over here, which is on the top. That's another filter. Those filters need to be kept clean. Now, if your filters are super dirty, it is unlikely that they will cause the vacuum to not turn on. It might cause the vacuum to struggle or to turn on and turn off quickly after that, because it might start overheating. But, there's a chance if they're dirty enough, maybe your vacuum is turning on for a moment and then it's just simply overheating the moment that you use it and it's turning off. So definitely take a look at the filters, and it's worth it to clean the filters. Look up how to clean them properly and make sure they're nice and clean. Then you can rule that one off the list as well. Hopefully that works, so hopefully it gets your problem fixed, because that would be an easy solution. Just cleaning the filters is a super easy solution. Okay, moving on to number 4. Number 4 is press the power button firmly. So on your unit, there's a power button over here, okay? And sometimes you might pressing, oh, I think I clicked it, but listen to this. I'm pressing it, but I'm not clicking. You need to hear this. Okay, you can hear that distinctive sound. Very, very easy. You need to be able to hear that. Now, you might be pressing it, and maybe there might be some dirt or some gunk or something sort of gunked up over there or caught up in there. And, by pressing it firmly, you're going to hopefully clear that up. I don't mean press it hard. That's what I mean. I mean press it firmly. What that means is like this. That's the force I'm talking about. Just like that. Literally that amount of force, nothing more than that. So just firmly, not hard, but just firmly, okay? Press the power button firmly. Hopefully that solves your problem. Last but not least, moving on to number 5. Number 5, fix number 5 is look for an obstruction or clog. If your vacuum is severely clogged, it will cause it to struggle, to overheat, to maybe not turn on, or to maybe turn off, okay? Turn off quickly. So just take a look. The first place you want to look, obviously, is in the main part of the unit over here. What I would recommend is don't attach anything to it. Don't attach the pole, don't attach the base, literally just get the main handheld portion and look for any clogs. Because if it won't turn on like this and there's no clogs, then like it doesn't matter if there's a clog in here because it's still not turning on, right? Like if you have everything attached and there's a clog somewhere down the line, that can cause it not to turn on. But we're trying to narrow down the problem. So if it, let's just say you have this attached and it doesn't turn on, right? But then without anything attached, it turns on. Then there could be an obstruction somewhere in here. There could be a clog somewhere in here that's causing it to maybe not turn on, right? Or to turn off quickly. So the idea is that we're trying to narrow down the problem. And in order to narrow down the problem, you want to get it as isolated as you can. So just get the main handheld unit and try looking for an obstruction in there or try turning it on by itself just like this, okay? So look for an obstruction or a clog in the main unit. Also look in the telescoping pole, not the telescoping pole, in the extension pole. It's not telescoping, it's just an extension pole. So look in the main unit, look in the pole over here, and also look in the base. You can look on the underside, see if you see anything in here. Take a look around, look for an obstruction or a clog because that might affect the ability for the unit to run properly. And that's it. Hopefully one of those fixes works for you. If they don't work, you're going to have to go to the next set of solutions, which are more in-depth ones that sort of require more work and more verification. But yeah, basically those are the quickest ones you can try out, and hopefully one of them works for you and you get your unit turning on and working properly once again. And that's all I have to say. I have nothing else to say for this tutorial, so we're going to roll the outro. If you like this video tutorial, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment, and of course be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.